Hey folks, welcome to the Easy Jeezy Garage. This segment's going to be tough to get through, and so I'll keep the side stories to a minimum. This video is going to be about CV joints and race axles for my Volkswagen Baja 69 with the IRS rear suspension, of course. And you might be wondering, well, Easy Jeezy, he's the guy that's always talking about how easy he is on his stuff and blah blah blah. Why would he want to get race axles? Well, the reason we want race axles, you might be able to see just by looking at them here. And these are the stock axles, and these are the stock CV joints. You can buy the 930 CVs, you can get bus stub axles, you can do all these things to convert a sedan transmission into a heavier duty transmission. You can put a bus transmission instead of a sedan transmission. I don't want to do that. I want to have a stock sedan transmission. I have my own reasons. That's what I prefer. It's not a debate. I'm not undecided about it. That's what it's going to be. So, years and years ago, when I was out in the sand dunes, had my first heavy Pinto powered machine, went flying through the air, came down real hard and broke a CV joint. I was left stranded out there in the sand. I thought, okay, what am I going to do to alleviate this situation? Of course, somebody had a spare CV joint and I was able to run the rest of my vacation. But what the solution was in that point of my life was to take a stock axle, and the CV joint goes on here. You have a concave washer that comes on next, and it pushes up against that. And then you have your snap ring, which is already on there, and it captures the center part of the CV joint, which is encased in the cage. So what we would do is just by hand hold this up to a grinding wheel, take it apart like this, and grind this hub off. That way the center of the CV could move back and forth, and if it overextended its travel, it wouldn't break the cage. But there was a couple of times, I think, in quite a few years, that this axle got pushed in too far, and it went past the splines in the center of my CV, and I thought I broke a joint. And I think one time I was just driving straight, slow, on a level ground, and all of a sudden the buggy stopped, and it's like, what the heck? Did something break? I'm glad it was close to camp, and I got out, and the axle pushed in. All I did was pull the axle out, and it engaged, and I was off. So fast forward quite a few years, back around 2002 or something like that, I put together that fiberglass Manx buggy that you've probably seen, and I decided to go with the expensive race axles by Swayaway, which had long splines like this. So by eliminating the hub that captures the CV, and I'm sure that the factory did that for some reason, on high impact, the long spline CV goes in and out, the long spline axle goes in and out of the CV without damaging it. You might have other issues, but it's worth the chance. Now, the axles that you're looking at are Chinese or Taiwan, I can't remember. I ordered them from one of the suppliers, Carcraft, out of Riverside, California. Great outfit, by the way. They have competitive prices. These were probably not quite half of what the Swayaway brand was, but they were considerably less. And of course, we're all shopping around for the best deals, but since I am easier on stuff, I thought I'd give these a try. These are chromoly. They appear to be plated with something, so they don't rust. They looked actually pretty nice before I started messing with them. But Anyhow, that's the story on race axles and why I'm using them, why I'm going with them. And as long as I'm got everything apart, I thought I'd make a video about this. I had a torn boot on one of my CVs, and I had a couple of bolts missing on the other side. This car is new to me, and I just want to check it out thoroughly while I'm at home, and got it in the garage. I usually travel with a spare axle already assembled, so I don't have to deal with individual CV joints. And so now we're going to go through the drill of cleaning and reassembling, disassembling and reassembling your CV joints. I use a magnifier. You probably saw that at the start on my head. I'm over 60, and those kind of little crutches help. So you've got your, what I use is coffee cans. I use diesel fuel or kerosene to clean. You want to have everything as clean as possible. First off, I have one bucket is for first dip and the real dirty stuff. I try to get the bulk of it off there. Then I'll wipe off whatever oozes out with a rag, and then I have a second one with fresh solvent in it to go on to further check it out. It took me a while to find the proper grease. I'm going to use this Valvoline Durablend synthetic, and it says CV joints. I have used regular grease in the past, haven't had any issues with it, but this is going to get some long miles on the street, and that's what was in these things when I took them apart. And you might be asking yourself, you know, you can buy an entire axle with the CV joints and the boots for upwards of $70. Why would you mess with the old ones? Simply, my position is that's 70 bucks that I can save if I don't have to spend it. Those are new. I don't know what the material is. It could be inferior material. You get what you paid for. These axles and CVs have a lot of miles on them, but they proved the test of time. They weren't clicking, they weren't making any noise. I'm taking them apart, and I'm going to examine them. Every single ball. I'm going to use a soft cloth for my final cleaning. I'm going to use my magnifiers. I'm going to get down. I've got good light here. You're going to see little tiny things. You're going to see imperfections. You can't get away from that. These are used, right? What you're looking for is a deep gouge or a scratch. You're looking for something that is going to cause friction and wear and cause you a problem later. I've already spent a little time cleaning these things. It's a pain in the neck, and by golly, be careful. This is the most dangerous job that you can probably do out in the garage when you're using this type of grease, because if you make a mistake and screw up, you may never be allowed to walk across carpet or sit on soft surfaces in the house again. Your life may be stuck out in the garage. So be real careful. Use gloves, man. This stuff you don't want. It's got graphite. I don't know exactly what is it. This is a synthetic blend, but it's a moly type grease, and I know from work it's a booger. So you're gonna see polish spots in there. You're gonna see where the balls have been riding. What you're looking for is you're trying to check it for the same thing. You're looking for bluing, a different color. Blue and different coloration like that will mean heat. Look for uniformity. If it's the first time you've done it, just look for something that's different. And don't get hung up if you find something that's bad, whatever. You know, you're going to lubricate these things up. They weren't making noise when you took them apart. Maybe you're doing an overhaul, and so don't worry about it. Next, start greasing up your balls. Get your balls all nice and greasy. Use clean grease. Try not to contaminate your new grease. Get all your balls. This is mostly for sticking purposes. Get a little grease because you're going to have to slide this thing together. This is a tricky deal. I think the first time I did it, Oh, I spent probably a half hour. I knew I got it apart. I couldn't get it back together. And I don't know if I'm the only one that struggled with that, but that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to make a video. You'll see that on this housing that there's one side that's got the shoulder, that's what goes into the flange. The other side is captured by the retainer on your boot. You want to clean your boots out, you want to wipe the inside of it. Don't get too anal about it, and if there's some microscopic speck of something, don't worry about it. You don't want to poke a hole in your boot. You just want to stretch them and make sure. Remember, this is on the outside of the bearing and it's spinning, so if there's some little contamination there, it's liable to get flung out and caught in the grease and stuff that's in the outside of the boot anyhow. So don't panic about that. Be as careful as you can, be as anal as you want to be, but don't worry about anything, because right now you're with Easy Jeezy in the Easy Jeezy garage. The cage may or may not come apart. You want to inspect that cage real good. You really want to get good light, and you want to look all around those edges. You're going to see the wear spots, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for something something real, and don't force anything. Do not force things. Just let them flow. They are very precise. They're real annoying is what they are. So get everything gooped up with the lubricant. Start putting your balls in, 1 ball per slot. You know, it's 6 ball CV for these standard car CV joints. And you just want to look it over, whatever it is that you got. Now you've put it together. Now here comes the crazy part. Don't lay it flat. You want to kind of work this in, because everything's in motion. You kind of want to put this in sideways. There you go. See that? You want to start putting it in sideways. And it's not just going to go together. You're going to have to work that grease, and you're going to have to play with it. You're going to have to move that center section. The balls are going to fall out. This is my second one this morning, so I kind of feel like I'm just keep that grease rubbing all over. If a ball falls out, make yourself this is a great table. The lid to a coffee can is great. You could set this lid over here and do it like this. Minimize when the balls do drop out how far they move, because at the end, when you do think you got it together and you find one of those balls on the table, you're not going to be a happy camper. And you just got to be patient. Everything's kind of, it's a little grabby because it was dry. That's why you want to lube it up. If that isn't a happy spot, try a different one. Move over to a different group. And only do one of these CVs at a time. Do one joint at a time. Here we go, here we go. That felt pretty good. That felt pretty good. Ah, there it gets. See? Once you find that sweet spot, it just falls into place. That is good. Now, you want to lay it down, take your axle, stick it in there. If you can't do this, I happen to get this one right. And if you get it in 180 off, if that center section is flipped the other way, you ain't going to be able to rotate it. It's going to be stuck. It'll move a little bit, but it won't articulate like this. You'll know when you got it right because it'll move around like this. Okay? You got it? Any questions? Just use the comment section. I don't know how I would explain this without showing somebody, or just from a couple of pictures in a book. This is something else, ain't it? And in case I decide to stop the video right here, I don't know how much time we've gone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for leaving comments. And I hope you're making the best of your day and your projects are going good. Get out in the garage. We've kind of got a little family of people that we call the YouTube Garage Gang. And a lot of us leave comments down below. So, you know, check on some of those people that leave a nice comment or seem like nice folks. If you got a little project, I'm sure maybe you're just checking in on the old Easy Jeezy, or you may have a little CV joint project that you're doing. You just want to pack these things up, slide your boot on. I think that's pretty no-brainer as far as putting the boots on. But you want to work it a little bit. You want to make sure, because you're going to be under load, and work that lube in there real good. And be sure and get you some kind of latex gloves. I like the black ones. I got them from Ace Hardware, and I think they're just a little bit stiffer than those blue ones, and I don't like the powdered ones. I really can't say why. I just, if these are available, that's what I use, and they seem to work pretty good. Don't use gasoline for solvent. Be safe. Wear eye protection. If you have some real stubborn stuff on the outside edges of the CV, I use a metal toothbrush. I took this to the dentist's office the other day and says, I'm having trouble with my tartar control toothbrush. And I thought she was going to fall down laughing. She thought that was pretty funny. So, just a paintbrush, anything to slop it around in there, and fix yourself up an extra axle if you can. And I carry mine with me in the car. I put it in the trunk. So, okay, hopefully that's covered most of the questions. Alright, I don't know how this is going to work out. I'm going to have to edit this. I did the first two CV joints. We talked about the axles, and I went in to upload that part of it and mess with it, and thought while that was uploading I'd come out here and do these other two, and wouldn't you know, I ran across something to show you. So hopefully this is gonna turn out. But I separated this third joint, CV joint, and I hope this focuses all right, but you can see, hopefully, what I saw. And this is the type of thing that you're looking for. There's one in there. It's pitted. It's really chewed up and pitted. It actually crushed that baby. There's try to catch it in the light over here, but that is what you're looking for. That's the joint that was in the car, was running fine. I couldn't hear it, but if you've been watching my Baja series, that this car had some issues. I bought it used, and had to replace the left rear axle bearing, and the more I dug, the more things I found with it. And if you're working on one now, oddly enough, when I started going through the balls, I don't know if that'll focus on something like that, but it's just barely scratched. It doesn't look anything like the race. So the balls are a much harder treatment than the race, or whatever you want to call this. And when you look into this section as well, oh boy, I don't know. The wear pattern is a little bit different. Okay, I don't know if you can see that groove right in here. Keep my hands out of it. Roll this around. Those are the type of defects that you're looking for. So if you want reliability, and you're going on some long distances, and you want to do some service on your CV joints, when you take them apart and re-grease them, maybe you have a torn boot. Just because you have a torn boot doesn't mean you have to replace the CV joint, for crying out loud. I mean, maybe the dirt and contamination didn't get in there yet. Maybe it did. But unless you take it apart and clean it, you're not going to know. So that's what this video is about. And it seems to me that the balls were kind of jammed in the right. See how they don't want to go through? This is the side that probably took the beating, and I didn't keep track of which side of the car that they actually came off of. But I couldn't just upload that video without giving you the bad example tool. And it reminded me of a little audio that I'm gonna insert in here someplace if I can keep my mouth shut for about 35 seconds. And when you're putting these things together and taking them apart, it's a different angle. You want to roll them around. They're tight.
Oh my God, it feels so good. Oh yeah, oh slow down. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Oh my God. Oh yeah, play with my balls, play with my balls. Oh, that feels so good. Yeah, just roll them around in a circle. Oh
Put
my
this together
God,
dry.
I love it when you. Uh-oh, slow
Here
down.
comes. You gotta play with your balls. You gotta roll them around.
Don't move. I'll go get you a towel.
If you can't seem to get your balls to cooperate, maybe your girlfriend or significant other can help you out with that. Doggone it, these things are jammed. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed that. This one also had similar scars, and now that it's been washed in solvent and wiped down, it's actually jammed. So keep that in mind. The car seemed to be running fine, but this is why you do these inspections. This is why preventive maintenance is always worthwhile doing. So hope you're having a great day. Sorry about the long video. Thanks to everybody for watching and subscribing and leaving comments and hitting the old like button there. So hope your day is going well, and hope this saved us a breakdown out in the boonies. Thanks a lot. Easy Jeezy out.